Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today to hear from Nick Sanchez at Move On. This has been a long-awaited conversation, at least on my end, Nick, since we've been working together over this past year. And I'm catching you on your way out of the organization, and really sad and disappointed that I won't be able to work with you in this capacity, but hopefully our paths will cross in the future. But glad to catch you on some of your final days at the organization, and thought you'd be just a terrific person to just drop some knowledge about talent acquisition, development, organizational development for the folks out there who are tuning in and are interested. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks, Linda. Thanks for making time. I always enjoy time together.
Nick, can you share with folks what your role is at Move On for the next couple of days at least? And then also how, you and Move On worked with movement talent.
So my name is Nick Sanchez. I work as the Director of Talent and Organizational Development at Move On. That is talent acquisition and organizational development. Through the support of our members over the past several years, we've continued to significantly grow, and that is growing our staff and our technology and organizing staff to support the progressive movement. And because we've been growing so much, my role has been more TA than OD over the past couple of years, which is majority recruiting is a lot of my role. We've worked with Movement Talent as a partner thinking about talent within the progressive movement. We have the view of the roles we have to fill. Movement Talent has helped us with the broader view of talent movement within the progressive movement, which is very helpful, and helped us with roles across our organization, including executive level roles. I've come to realize a lot of the things that we end up bumping up against, the challenges we face as individuals, as teams, as an organization, as a larger society, are due to inner stuff, inner and interpersonal challenges, often a symptom and reflection and/or in addition to the systemic justices and recreation of harm that we perpetuate towards ourselves and others. So for me, the work ahead will be focused on the inner work and the interpersonal work. I've completed a program in community mental health and psychology, and I'll be doing work as a therapist in the coming months and years.
So just to follow up on that, Nick, especially in this moment, do you feel like HR professionals are readied and prepared for the mental health challenges that all of our organizations are facing in this moment, and how those challenges impact employee well-being and organizational health?
It's an important question. I appreciate you asking it. I don't. And I say that both personally and sort of what I hear. I think personally, my more recent boss, Tess is the head of people operations here, and Lisa is the chief of staff. And they are one of the first supervisors I've ever had who've been able to have me as an employee speak with my supervisor about my own challenges with burnout, mental health, struggles in the workplace. And that's so rare to find supervisors who are able to have that level of care and conversation. And me as an HR practitioner, I often didn't prioritize that because it got pushed down. And so it's something that I'm hopeful that more people begin to focus on as a key part of the workplace and open up spaces for those conversations, which, as you know, takes a lot of training and support for the managers who will be having those conversations, but it's a really important piece of the work.
Sometimes organizations can be pretty salty when people leave. And I'm curious, what your experience at Move On has been in this regard. And just to make it interesting on the flip side, being in the position that you've been at Move On, do you get salty when you hear about a departure?
Yeah, it's a great question. there's no salt with Tess. So Tess is my current supervisor, and before that was Lisa. And they're both smart and wonderful leaders and caring and authentic. And so this move makes sense to all of us, I think, when I explain it to them. And I think I really appreciate having supervisors who have that level of connection and humanity in the workplace. I think that removes the salt. That's for them. They're better than me. I'm salty when an employee leaves because, I'm sad someone's leaving. I'm just sad they're leaving the organization. So I get a little salty. And then as a recruiter, you're like, I got more work. So you get salty about that. But I'm sort of joking. I'm probably 10% salty and 90% so happy for them, because when people are leaving, they're going to do what's next for them. And I think we need to do a better job of encouraging these conversations about what's next. Like, how long are you going to be here that works for you and works for the communities and organizations you're working with?
I've seen this particular piece of the employee life cycle change a little bit in the past couple of years. And I've even heard recently of, some organizations instituting kind of like career services for their employees, and just having more of open dialogue about next steps and aspirations. Do you feel like Move On is going in that direction? And are you aware of other efforts at other organizations similar?
Yeah, during the election staffing, when we bring on staff for an election year and they know that they're coming on for the election year and that they'll leave after the election, we have the opportunity to offer these things to staff members. And it's really opens up the conversation for a lot of staff members to think about what's next. And we provide resources for resume review, job searching, career counseling, if that's something people are interested in, to help them find their next role. And yeah, I'm hearing more and more people do that. So I hope that that's something that becomes more discussed during career conversations with people. And for staff who are non-temp staff, that their professional development conversations expand beyond just their current workplace. What do they want to be doing in 3 years and 5 years? And that may be beyond Move On or beyond that organization, but how can the manager be a support and mentor to them in those longer term conversations, and then provide them the opportunity for the tools or the resourcing to get what they need to reach those longer term goals.
Thank you so much, Nick, for taking this time today. It has been such a pleasure talking with you and learning from you this past year. And I hope your 2022 is an amazing one, an amazing year. And I trust that we're going to keep in touch.
Yeah, thanks, Linda. I'm really glad our paths crossed here. And I'm glad you've been a partner to Move On in the work that we've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you.